So give us a breakdown of that.
Okay, so that means that I will be talking about the theories, some theories in psychology. Someone say, "Oh, what is theories?" Theories are simply a framework of ideas, that explains and predicts behavior. I'm talking about psychological
Right.
theories, all right, that predicts human behavior and mental processes. Okay,
Mm.
so we should understand that earlier I spoke about the biological aspect or perspective of psychology,
Right.
or the biological spectrum through which a psychology sees things. And one of the key things about the biological perspective is the human brain. Okay, is the human brain. Okay, and the human brain actually is like, aside, is equally important as to our heart. So the human brain has a system we call the limbic system, and the limbic system is actually what we call the storehouse of our emotional behavior or our emotional expressions. So under the limbic system, we have what we call the thalamus, the hypothalamus, the amygdala, and the cortex. Okay, so these four systems, or these four parts of the brain, play a key role in our behavior and in our emotions. So for example, amygdala plays a very key role in our emotions and memory. So for example, the individual travels out there and has a very good, amygdala functioning. I know this might be very hard for some of us who didn't, love science or biology that much. But basically, our emotions and our behaviors are very important
Right.
aspect of this traveling, or determinants of this traveling. So let me just quickly rush to the theories. Number one theory is what we call cultural intelligence theory. Okay, now cultural intelligence theory was brought up by Christopher Ely, or what we call Ely, and then Sun Ange. Now, someone asks, what is cultural intelligence? Cultural intelligence is simply the ability to be able to work effectively and relate well with yourself across cultures. In social studies, we said culture is simply a way of life. So in order for you to be able to work, for example, in Dubai, for example, maybe in the eastern region or in the northern region, depending, you see, in the northern region has its own climate change, has its own climate, whatever, right? And so when we get to those places, there is something we call cultural intelligence. And these cultural intelligence are determined by about three things, okay? The first thing is what we call the cognitive, okay? And which has to do with the knowledge of the culture.
Right.
Now, knowledge of the culture, we have what we call the pre-knowledge, the knowledge or the perspective you have about a particular location you are going to. Then the experiential knowledge, the knowledge that you gain as a result of your experiences in that place, your experiences with yourself. How do I feel in this environment,
Right.
in this working environment, or in whatever environment, recreational environment it is? How do I feel about the people I am working with? Or how do I feel about the people I am relating with? That is the experiential knowledge, okay? And we have what we call the motivational, the drive you have to be able to adapt to the environment. So in psychology of learning, we call something intelligence. And intelligence simply means your ability to adapt to your environment. So, I'm not working in Ashanti region again. I have been moved to northern region. What motivation do you have that drives you to adapt to it? Then the last part is the behavioral, which is one's ability to adjust his behavior appropriately. There is the environment, there is what the environment calls for. What an environment calls for maybe in one media house might be different from what another, and that's why we have the mission statement, the vision statement, our objectives.
Right.
Okay, so when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. Excessive or under use of something, Dr. Miles Monroe will say, is what we see manifest. So first of all, the person is, oh, you are talking about traveling. Should I just travel? No. You should know why you are traveling. Because if you don't know why you are traveling, you will either end up getting overwhelmed, or you realize that you didn't even gain any benefit in the first place. Because there are certain people who travel, and instead of them coming better, they come worse. Because the purpose of the traveling wasn't seen. Now, I'm not saying that, we will not plan, we will not have our plans and then go there. But there are unexpected things that happen. However, when the uncertainties of these traveling happen, what you have built over time, the pre-knowledge, and then your motivation will help you adapt to this environment. Okay. So the second, of course, someone will ask, oh, what is the benefit of, this cultural intelligence? Number one, it helps you improve on your leadership. Everyone is a leader. Number one, the first person you are leading is yourself. The second person you are leading is your immediate environment, okay? So we have secondary leaders and we have primary leaders. When we say secondary leaders, like we'll have, let's say, a managing director who is serving under a CEO who is serving, let's say, under the president, especially when you come into the governmental system, okay? So then it also helps your collaborative skill, okay? When you have cultural intelligence, okay, then you also have your negotiative abilities to be able to, deal with people from across other, an environment,
right.
okay? Then the last theory, let me just push in another theory, okay? Which is what we call the Kohlberg's experiential learning theory, okay? You see, travel is a prime setting for experiential learning, where knowledge is created through direct experience. So the person might have been seeing Dubai on the television. The person might be seeing Northern region on the television. I was talking to someone. I told the person that we can have, online video calls with a person you are in a relationship with, a business partner. You might see everything about them, but there is nothing. The benefit it comes with having an in-person, relationship or encounter with the person, it comes with a lot of benefits.
That's true.
Than just online, because you are able to see what is said but not, communicated. For example, you are able to see the person's true facial expression. When you ask a question or when the person is responding to a question, you are able to tell by the person's tonation, because sometimes network issues, you won't be able to hear what the person is really saying at the other side. So, in-person, conversation really matters.
I see Priscilla laughing.
Maybe I think she might raise. So we have concrete experience, the travel itself. Then we have reflective observation. When you go there, you are going there to reflect on yourself. You are going there to reflect on several things. Sometimes, maybe as a business owner, of a smaller, business, whatever it is, sometimes you realize you are not doing well. Your productivity rate is very low. And that's why she mentioned retreats, that in some companies in Ghana now, they are going on retreats. I want to believe, I think that the past administration also had something like that, a ministerial retreat, where they went and then deliberated on issues in terms of their strengths, their weaknesses, and whatever thing it is. Okay, so there has to be that sense of reflection, journaling. Right. What am I really going to do there? Okay, then we have what we call abstract conceptualization. It's basically talking about the insight you have about your business and your life. Then active experimentation, which is trying new strategies. If you tried one strategy in a particular place, it didn't work out very well, try another place. You traveled to Ashanti region, you didn't get the experience you wanted to get. Travel to the Eastern region and see. Maybe you travel to Dubai, a specific place in Dubai. Try Abu Dhabi. So let there be that, diverse, I see Lady Priscilla is smiling a lot. So the fact that you traveled to a particular place and the place didn't suit you doesn't mean you cannot travel to another place. Right. The person might say, oh, I traveled to Accra, no, but you've not tried all the hotels, you've not tried all the recreational facilities. Right. Maybe you should go to the zoo and then observe, the animals, and then sightseeing, right, also has a way of helping us. So these are the backings of the theories, that helps you predict a behavior, and that helps you understand your mental processes, or what we call your mindsets or your perceptions about this traveling. So that's the science to it. Right. However, you cannot experience the benefits of a traveling place or a traveling experiences until you come to that place of understanding your own behavior, your own emotions, and how so? Yes.
How so?
Of course, the greatest knowledge you can ever have, aside your knowledge of the Supreme Being, is the knowledge of self. And that is why we have books. I mean, some books like, why you act the way you do, helps you understand your temperament. The way, a sanguine who is more of an outspoken person responds to a noisy environment is different from the way a phlegmatic will do. And it's different from the way a melancholic will also do, because he's a perfectionist and very analytical. He's very interested in you. He's paying attention to details. Okay. Then the choleric is much more outspoken, yet still, goal-oriented person. Okay. So let's expose ourselves to certain literatures, books. And then also, I will always say, reach out to the psychologist to help you, understand yourself better, your emotions and your behaviors.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I was actually trying to get the connection. So we get the fact that you need to know about yourself, but you're
Yes.
saying that helps you to, you're connecting that to travel.